Hello everyone, and look at this monster of a figure. This is the Mortal Kombat Shao Kahn from Storm Collectibles. This is the version that comes with the throne, so it's a pretty big box. I was actually quite surprised when I saw this, how big this box is for Storm Collectibles figures. Anyway, so of course I figured let me go ahead and try to do a video on this thing. Of course, you see here on the side the Mortal Kombat Shao Kahn, and here on the back you see Shao Kahn sitting there in his throne, the different poses. That also gives you a bit of a background on who the character is. This looks to be based, I guess, on the more recent Shao Kahn. I know there's an older version, I think perhaps based on Mortal Kombat 2. This looks like it's maybe from Mortal Kombat 10 and on. Of course, you got the throne, you got different accessories, but he looks pretty badass. Of course, as I said, it's a pretty sizable box. Here you see the Shao Kahn sitting in his throne. So if you're planning on getting this, fair warning, this box is pretty big. Thankfully, I don't keep my boxes anymore because I would have no idea where I would keep this thing. But let me open it up and I'll show you, what all we get inside this thing. All right, guys. So got the throne and Shao Kahn here out of the box. First impressions, a bit overwhelmed because of the size of this guy. But I'll show you all what we get in this box. So obviously, as you guys could see, the throne itself, but just real quick, you do get a pretty sizable background here. So of course, with the Mortal Kombat logo, I think I may end up keeping this background to use perhaps with displaying this figure, but it's really cool that they include that. Of course, for me, other than the Shao Kahn figure itself, the star of this figure or toy or whatever you want to call it is this honking throne. This is how it comes in the box. It is hollow plastic, so it's not really too heavy. But again, I think what they've managed to include here is pretty cool. You can take this apart from the base. So if you wanted to get a better look at the base, this is a little hollow plastic base. It's not heavy at all. It's pretty light. They've added some nice blood details there all over. Of course, it being Shao Kahn, I'm sure these are all his opponents that he's killed. So, and it's got a bit of a, I guess, a bit of a brown, light brown, some bit of a yellow to add texture. So it's really cool that they've included this as the base. Now, the throne itself is hollow. So it's, you could see it down here. I mean, it's hollow up here. It doesn't feel cheap by any means, and it's got some nice weight to it. It's not super heavy, of course, but it looks really cool. So you guys could see all the details. So first of all, starting here with these metal chains with the different skulls. They look really nice. Again, all throughout the throne, you'll see a lot of red, a lot of brown, a lot of burgundy colors. Of course, blood seems to be the theme here. Here's the seat itself. Of course, here's the more detailing on the arms of the throne. And you guys could see here some stone-like details. And of course, on the right side, more more skulls with the metal chains, which are really cool. I love that these are not plastic and actual real metal. Of course, looking up here at the skull itself, you got a nice crack here going almost all the way around here, all the way to the top. You got some nice red detailing. Again, more blood. And the skull is really well detailed, at least in my book. You've got these sections here for the eyeball sockets, the nose, and of course the upper portion of the mouth, which looks really cool. Going back here, a bit plain, but again, they've managed to do some texturing. Again, some stonework, some more of that red or copper-like color. And again, here's the back of the skull. It is hollow, but it feels pretty sturdy. So that's really cool. And as you guys saw, you can stick this pretty much in there and it kind of just sits in place looking like that. A couple of things that I still need to add to it is, of course, you get these chains, which again are all metal. They have some nice weight to them, and they are painted with some red detailing there. So that's really cool there. And these go over here. Essentially, they go through these little inlets here on the side, if I can get them in. Let's see if I can do this. Yep. And you can put them in any which way you want, but you put one on the left and another one here on the right. So I will probably mess around with that later. Other cool things for the throne, because as you notice, there are two things here on the top that are missing, and those would be these horn accessories. Again, hollow plastic, but doesn't feel cheap by any means. I love the detailing they've added here. They actually remind me of Motaro's horns, but looks really cool. A lot of ridges, a lot of detailing, more gravel, stone-like colors. Very, not too pointy here in the end, but really cool. And of course, you do get two of them. They are keyed, so you get a little section here that's meant to match up with the top part here, right? So you kind of know that this section, and you do have to look at the picture, but you kind of have to make sure that that fits in there really well to get it in. And you'll have something that looks like that. I have to put the other one on, so I'm going to do that probably right now. But looking really cool so far. Alrighty, so moving on with this beast, you could see the throne back there with the horns fully on, looking awesome. But so far, so good. I'm really enjoying the fact that I picked the version of Shao Kahn here with that big honking throne. It's definitely worth it for me, especially if you like displaying these things out. So really cool. As we move on, more accessories, of course. So let's start off here with his spear. This one is in green color, I guess to emulate the effects from the game. But you guys can see here, it almost looks, it's like a green Jolly Rancher color. So it is clear plastic. It looks pretty cool. You know, I would be really careful with trying to bend this or perhaps dropping this. I don't think it would break if you drop it, but you know, just take care of your things. But really cool there. Some nice sharp detail, but it's pretty much all clear green. So you do get that. We'll put that over here. Then you also do get the exact same spear, but this time, of course, in the metal or steel color. Again, some nice shiny details, very pointy, really cool. Not much in the way of any other additional details in the handle. It's just like plain metal, but what's there is really cool, and I'm glad they give you both of these, and they're pretty tall. So you get those two. You get the awesome, awesome hammer. I love this thing, or mallet, I guess. Mortal Kombat logo there. You see the dragon, some nicely detail and texturing work there. You got the pointy end here, pretty much looking like metal or stone, whatever this needs to be. You've got the 4-point here on both sides. So same thing here, and the Mortal Kombat logo again. It's well done. I appreciate the hard plastic. And you've got the handle. Again, you got some gold detailing. Some looks like some maybe, I don't know, like leather or some brown detailing there on the handle. You got the pointy end. But this hammer looks really cool. It's really nicely weighted here on the top. So that's really nice. Of course, you can't have Shao Kahn or some collectible figures without a couple of accessories here as far as hands or heads. So you do get 3 heads. So you get 2 in the box and 1 that he has already on the figure. So as you guys can see, you get 2 of them. You get one where he's kind of, I guess, smirking or laughing here. And then this one where he's screaming, I guess, in rage. You've got the nice detailing here. I guess, I forget Shao Kahn. I know it's maybe some kind of part dragon. But he's got these scales with these nail-like protrusions or bones on both heads. So that's really cool. The expressions are well done. Again, this is really nice. And of course, the Storm Collectible heads you just pop on and off the socket and you can put them on. Here's the back. So you do get these 2 options as far as heads. You get about 5 pairs of hands. You get your standard sort of reaching out hands. You get obviously hands where you can hold the spears or weapons that he comes with. My favorite ones are, of course, the pointy hands. You will die or whatever he says, or you suck in some of the games. But you can do the pointy hand thing. Pointy hands for both sides. He's got some sort of reaching out, splayed hands as well. Some grasping hands or grabbing hands. So you do get 5 pairs. As I said, this is not including the ones that he comes with, but these do have the nice detailing of the armor here on the top of the palms. So you got gold and a bit of burgundy or brown, and on the bottom here. So really cool, and they all pretty much look pretty similar. So that's cool. You can switch all these hands out, and then on to the main guy here. So I'm gonna have to adjust the camera a bit, but here he is. Here is the big man himself. A really nice figure. It's kind of interesting that this is the one time where the figure kind of looks really small, even though it's a good size because of this honking throne back here. Of course, let's start off here. I guess this would be an accessory, but as I mentioned, you do get 3 heads, including the one he comes with, and this one he's got more of a neutral sort of stance or look. Got the red eyes there. Right, more of a neutral. And again, continuing here with the detailing here on top of the head. So that is really cool. And of course, the other heads do also have those red eyes that you see there. So really cool. Moving on here, you've got the shoulder armor pieces here with the soft rubber, I guess like spikes or claws, whatever that may be. The armor continuing on. You've got a little skull there. Very Mad Max He-Man-like armor here in Shao Kahn. Of course, we got more of the here on the arms. But looking really cool. Same thing on this side. You've got his belt. Again, more skull motif. You got this soft, sorry, the soft rubber, like I guess skirt or half skirt on the front and on the back. And you can move it. Got a bit of his underwear there, I guess, or his armor. You got these sections here that are soft rubber. I haven't played with it too much, but my assumption is you want to, these look like they're attached to the legs, but you may want to be careful with perhaps spreading the legs or moving the legs a little too much. I'm going to assume that this section here is glued onto the legs, but it looks really cool. Moving on down, of course, more claws or here, spikes on the armor. So really cool. Some nice gold line work there. And you got his sandals or chanclas or whatever you want to call them. But there you go. Really cool. And then on the back, same thing, right? Like you got the brown detail on the armor. On the back of the belt, you've got this here. Looks like a bit of a weight belt made out of leather. So that's really cool. You got the straps going around, which tie into the back of the armor here. So that's really nice. So overall, the sculpt on the armor is really cool. Of course, you can't have Shao Kahn without his helmet. And this thing's pretty awesome. You got the gold detailing there. You got the skull, some again black details, and the gold there. So really, really cool. You could see it there. Really nice. And of course, you can pop this on and off on his head. I'll probably be displaying it with his helmet here, because I think that's the Shao Kahn that I remember. So, but of course, you can take that off and not display it with it. All right, you got a better angle here of Shao Kahn. As far as articulation, you're probably going to have to be a little careful, with the armor pieces, especially here on the legs. But again, this being a Storm Collectibles figure, the chest here is soft rubber to allow a lot of the articulation. And then you do get a bit of a, well, you do get soft rubber here on these skirt pieces to be able to then allow you to move the legs. So the head, let's take the helmet off, but you can move it completely 360. You can look down, up, So you can get this guy in some, you know, pretty cool poses. The arms, probably splay them out that much before you start hitting the shoulder sections here. But again, you can get some good posing. The elbows, again, you can get that much, and you got more articulation here as well. Same thing here on this side. So, you know, he's going to be able to do some pretty decent poses for this guy. You got waist movement here. You could probably take this all the way around without any issue. You know, of course, just being really careful that you don't hit this, but this is soft rubber, so no issues there. He can, I guess, try and look down, at least on my copy, probably that much. And you can get him to look up that much. I would just be really careful. Notably, usually when I get my Storm Collectible figures, these joints are really hard and really loud. On this copy, none of that so far. So that's really good to hear. Although my legs here do feel a little loose, but he's still able to hold a pose. He can stand there. As far as the legs, as I said earlier, these things are probably a bit in the way, so I would just be really careful when you're moving the legs not to damage anything. There's the good old squeak from Storm Collectibles, but that's good. But you could probably kick up that much, I would say, without damaging anything. And then the knees can go back that much farther back. You could probably split the legs. That's probably about as comfortable as I would be doing the splits. You know, again, I showed you the kicking forward, knee bend. It's really cool. And you've got the feet here. Again, just being really careful not to damage anything with these ball joints. And you can see that he's got a toe articulation. It's a bit stiff. So you could see it there. He can do it on both sides. So I venture out, you're going to be able to get this guy in some pretty cool poses there. Let's put his helmet on. So really cool nonetheless. There you go. He looks awesome. I can't wait to display this guy with my other figures, but I think if you just get the figure alone, it's going to look great in your collection. He looks awesome. I've been waiting to get a Shao Kahn added to it, and this one is definitely worth it. Now, if you want to go over the top like I did, definitely go over and get that throne, man. It just looks so cool. I think if you are maybe just collecting Mortal Kombat figures, that throne will look great. Me personally, I have a bunch of Storm Collectibles, and I think they'll all look great. I don't mind mixing and matching different series, but the throne just takes this figure over the top. The accessories are great as well. So really cool. Okay, so continuing here with the awesomeness that is Storm Collectible Shao Kahn here. Some comparisons before we wrap up the video to other Storm Collectible figures, and why not start off with this crazy dragon that came with Liu Kang. Obviously the dragon is much bigger, but he is a little not as tall as the throne itself. So I know the perspective kind of throws it off, but the throne is slightly taller than the figure. Just want to show them out there. I love this dragon that came with Liu Kang, but just to show you the relevant size of Shao Kahn here. So we'll move our dragon guy out of the way here, and let's start off with some proper Mortal Kombat. So here's Liu Kang. Again, you could see he is dwarfed in size, as it should be, to Shao Kahn, and here he is next to his Shaolin monk brother there, Kung Lao. So again, no comparison there. Shao Kahn should be a much bigger character, and he in fact is. So again, I want to say great job to Storm Collectibles here, size wise. So you could see they fit in really well. I actually do have one more Mortal Kombat character here. Here he is next to Reptile. So again, pretty cool. It's awesome to have at least some Mortal Kombat characters together. I unfortunately got in pretty late with the Storm Collectibles figure, so I do not have any of the earlier Mortal Kombat figures other than the ones I've just shown you. But for comparison, for example, here's more Storm Collectibles. So here's Virtua Fighter, and of course Streets of Rage 4, Axel and Rio Hazuki. So again, whole different lines and series there, but I like the way that looks. Just to show you for comparison, of course, Mr. Shao Kahn towering over everyone. Here he is next to Iori from the King of Fighters 97. That's the Orochi Iori. And next to Paul Phoenix there from Tekken 7 in this case. So again, I just love the way that Shao Kahn is so imposing and looks so cool just standing there. So we'll move that. And then lastly, here he is next to some Street Fighter characters. Zangief or Sanjeev and Balrog or M. Bison, depending on where you're from. And these look really cool together. Sanjeev is a little, obviously a little taller there than Shao Kahn, but yeah, Sanjeev is just a monster. But Shao Kahn there holds his own. And then we got Balrog here, all the way on the right. He is slightly shorter, but he makes up for that with his bulk. But man, so happy with this thing. It looks so cool. All right, so before we wrap up, again, for those of you wondering whether he can sit on the throne, yes, he can. I did have to cheat a bit and move his back skirt out. So he's not fully in. Also, the skull kind of prevents him from sitting all the way back. But as you could see, he can sit in there. He looks actually pretty cool, just kind of sitting there like he is in the game, right? Really cool. But overall, I am really happy with this thing. I will say I was very iffy on getting the version with the throne, but now I'm glad that I did, because I think it will add to my collection there with all the other figures that I have here. I guess the only thing to keep in mind is depending, as a collector, you may be running out of room. So this throne is pretty hefty. I would say you do have to find the space for it to make sure that you have it. But if you also do manage to just get Shao Kahn himself, he's an awesome figure. So you have a lot to look forward to there. I just think the throne takes this one like way over the top. It's really awesome. And I also like the fact that you can use this big background as a the background that comes with the figure to sort of put some kind of scene in place. But there you go. Shao Kahn is awesome. Highly recommended. If you can't get the one with the throne, definitely get the one where it's just a figure by itself. I think it looks great just that way. But anyway, if I missed anything, let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Thank you so much for your very valuable time, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.